Are you bored of using your laptop as a regular laptop? You want to be creative and turn it into a retro arcade? Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end because I'm going to show you how to turn any laptop into a retro arcade with only the need of a USB. So this is an arcade system that's booting off a USB and it's turned this laptop into an arcade system. This is running off an operating system called Batocera, and the only thing you need to do to set this up is be able to download it and flash it onto a USB stick. So let's get to setting this up. So in terms of setting something up like this, it's actually quite easy. We can use the computer that we plan on using, or we can use any other computer. And what we're going to need is we're going to need a USB key and we're going to need an internet connection. So with that internet connection, I'm going to jump onto the computer. Now that we come to the computer, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look for a piece of software called Batocera. So you can go to batocera.org, and basically what Batocera is, it is a Linux-based open source operating system that is the operating system, and then we have basically a retro arcade built on that operating system. Alright, so we can download the latest version. We can go to downloads if you want to read more. So basically we can download it for Intel CPUs, so basically a desktop, laptop, NUC, or Intel-based Apple devices. We can download it for a Steam Deck, Raspberry Pi, and even handheld devices. Right, but for our example, we're downloading the desktop Intel CPU, and the other thing we're going to need is a piece of software to convert the ISO image that we're downloading from Batocera and to place it on a USB to make that USB bootable. So you can use a piece of software like Rufus, or you can use something like Batocera, the portable version, to do the exact same thing. I'm going to suggest this for this exact reason. And once our software has been downloaded, you can see we have Batocera as well as Batocera. So I can double click this and it's going to open up for me. Okay, so here we have Batocera. And basically we're going to flash from a file. So I'm going to have to choose a file, and here I'm choosing my Batocera file. And then what we do from there is we have to select a target. We select a target device like this USB SanDisk. But so what you're going to notice here, this is a 128 gig SanDisk USB, right? But when we flash it with this operating system, it's going to only make it an 8 gig. So you'd be sort of wasting the operating system or the USB. What you could do, you could split the partition, have it on one side and then the other side you use for storage, or you could just have the USB dedicated with like an 8 gig USB and it's dedicated to your plug and play gaming solution. So I'm going to select this, we're going to flash it, we're going to hit flash, and it's going to take its time. So let's quickly pick up with the power of editing as soon as this is over. And just like that, simple, easy, complete. So it'll work just like that. We take this, plug it in to a laptop, to a PC, make sure it's booting off the USB, and it'll boot straight into Batocera, and we'll have a retro gaming PC. We can launch it just like this, and I'll show you it's launching now, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to actually add some of the retro games to the file system so that you can access them. So let's test it out before we add some more games. Okay, so we have our USB that we've just created, and here we have our Lenovo V15. If you missed me reviewing it, links up there in the YouTube cards, go ahead and check it out. What I'm going to do, I'm going to plug in the USB, and I've already made the change in the BIOS to make sure that the laptop boots off the USB. So now all we have to do, power it on, and now when we power it on, you see something quite interesting happens. So essentially what it's doing, it's booting off the USB into the Batocera operating system. And from here, you can see that we have a plethora of emulators that we can play off of, from the NES to the SNES, Game Boy Advance, Mega Drive, all sort of other ROM games. And we can play with it just like this. Or if we want to be a little creative, what we can do is, if we wanted to be creative, we could go ahead and grab a PlayStation controller or any sort of game station controller. And now that it's been detected, so right off the bat, it actually has just one game of each emulator. It has one game of each emulator. So now let me show you how we can add our own ROMs to this emulation or to this arcade that we've created. Okay, so now here's how we copy our ROMs to the system. Here we have a USB with our legally obtained ROMs, and I'm going to plug it into the laptop. So there's a few different ways that you could do this. I mean, you can copy it via network, or you can just copy it locally on the system while it's running. So now that I have the USB plugged in, I'm gonna press F1 so that I can now access the file system. So now that I'm in the file system, right, what I'm gonna do, I have a ROMs folder, and in the ROMs folder there's a breakdown of basically every single arcade game or retro game that's been available. And what we can do, we can go to our USB. See, like I have Atari 2600 games. I'm going to select all. I'm going to say copy, and then I'm going to go to the ROMs folder. I'm going to find Atari 800, Atari 2600, and I'm going to copy all the games there. Alright, so if I go back here, I also have some Nintendo games. Copy all of the Nintendo ROMs, LM. Some Super Nintendo, back to ROMs, Super. Here we go. Right, so the games have been copied, so we're going to say close window. So a quick restart of the system would update all the games that we have just copied, and as you can see, under NES we have 800 games, under the Atari 2600 we have 2500 games, under the Super Nintendo we have 24 games. I don't think I copied any Game Boy games, Sega, nothing. So let's take a look at some of our NES games. Just one quick one for the fun of it. Let's play the original. The board fell. Did you not hear something squeal? Quickly, jump, oh man. So as you can see, it's a simple, easy way to have some fun without having to reinvent the wheel in terms of your operating system, have a separate partition and anything. All you need is a small 6 gig or 8 gig USB, and you copy your stuff to it, and you can have endless amount of fun. Don't forget, you saw it here first, even though there might have been other people doing it before me. But it's a cool way, and it's simple, easy for you to understand, for you to set up. And in the description below, you can find a link to Batocera as well as some of the free to use ROMs. So yeah guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and like to see more videos like this, let me know by giving a like rating if you did. If you got any questions about how to set it up or any difficulty you are finding, leave a comment down in the comment section below. And always guys, my name is Prashant, and I'll see you in the next video.